This is very beautiful.
We're in a snow globe
I
right
think
now.
so. I think that's where we are. A magical place. The Crown Plaza. Would you like to say the room number? It's up to you.
We're at the Crown Plaza, room 515, coming at you.
Come join us in the past because you can't actually see us. How's it going, Ben?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me on, man.
Of course. You just had a great show last night, sold out at Debonair Music Hall. How was that getting back into the groove with Acoustic Trickster?
That was great. We had a great show. I felt great. The sound was great. Production. There were a lot of people there to see the band, so I had a great time.
So how is it for you just in general getting to play like other people's stuff? You get to like be a part of helping bring this music to life in a new sort of way. How is that for you?
Yeah, I enjoy it. So I kind of became the Swiss Army knife of drummers
It seems
recently.
that way, yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to get on with a lot of different bands playing acoustic versions of these songs, and I've really enjoyed it. It shows a lot of the songs in a different light. It shows all these songs from these artists in a great showcase and an acoustic versions of all these songs, and some of the bands, it's like kind of a storyteller show. Yeah. So the artists get to talk about how the songs were born or what's happened in their careers, etc., etc. So I enjoy it a lot, and it's gotten me out to see a lot of the country and meet a lot of great people like yourself. So
I'm all right, but so what is the process for you? Because you have to convert a lot of it's like 80s rock bass sort of stuff, like Winger, Trickster. You have to convert like these big like drum fills into djembe, not bongo. He's not bongo Ben. He's djembe Ben. I shouldn't
have told that story.
No, he's djembe Ben and a cajon. You got to convert all that, and like you get a snare sometimes. How do you go about like making that work in the confined like space that you have?
Well, it's funny. So I started doing this many years ago. I kind of by accident. I've always been a huge Winger fan, actually, and so Kip Winger came through my area years ago. Yeah. And I got to meet him, and I said, "Hey, man, I had a jazz CD I did a bunch of years ago. I laid my music on them, and I said, "Hey, man, I play the djembe. I'm a real musician. Can I sit in with you?" And he kind of looked at me like, okay. And I got to sit in with him, and I brought a djembe, and I started doing that regularly. And then as it went on and on, I used to sit in with him and bring the cajon. It was like a 2-piece drum set. And then Kip started hiring me to play all across the country. So I was regional. I was set up. I had my own group. You know, I did that for 20 years, playing jazz and blues and all kinds of music. And I play full kit. And a lot of people think that I just play this, but I play full kit, and percussion and other things. But for the acoustic gigs, especially if there's just guitar, like with Kip, the djembe, which I have here, not the bongo. Bongos are little, but the djembe, it has a lot of bass tone, so it fills in the cracks. Yeah. And sometimes you don't miss a bass player because of the tone, and it's very earthy. So just kind of a 2-piece drum set. And as time has gone on, and especially with the Trickster band, I've added a snare drum. Yeah. And last night I played with a house bass drum, so it was like a 2-piece drum set, basically. And I enjoy doing that. And I try to get away with doing fills and big things with just the two drums, 2 crash cymbals. Yeah. And I try to play sort of a minimalist kind of thing, and let the music do the talking. I'm really good friends with Victor DiLorenzo. He's the founding member of the Violent Femmes from Milwaukee, and he plays minimalist. He plays like a floor tom and a snare drum many times. And so I kind of pay homage to that and do just a small setup instead of a monster. Who wants to go? We're going to go see an acoustic band with a 15-piece drum set.
It would be funny,
not gonna happen. It's sort of like Swiss Army knife. So I mean, it depends on the gig, you know. I like to play just these drums a lot. So sometimes I can get away with just these. So like especially with Anthony Quarter, I play a lot of cajon. Yeah. But anyway, I enjoy it. Anytime I could play music with people and make music that's important to people,
Yeah.
and that people enjoy it, and they're tapping their foot, they're dancing, they're singing the songs. Sometimes they're crying. That's when I know we're getting to people. I enjoy it. So I don't care. I'll play on a garbage can and a brown
Next
box.
time you
on this
come around.
table, I'll take the whatever I need to do.
So do you find that challenging to try to scale it down, or does it just kind of come naturally to you?
Naturally. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Have you always leaned towards like smaller kits, like when you were doing full kits, it wasn't like 20 cymbals, or was it?
No, I mean, I've had different stages. So when I was a lot younger, when I met my wife, I was playing in a cover band, and I've had the big drum set with all
Yeah.
everything going on. And then many years I played just a 4-piece. So on blues gigs and jazz gigs, smaller kid
Yeah.
setup. So whatever the music calls for, I'm going to play the music.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be a lead drummer. That's not the way it's
Yeah.
supposed to be. You're supposed to support the tune, the music and everything. So whatever the gig calls for, and I like to change it up too. I mean, then it's not boring for me.
Yeah.
It can be challenging instrumentally to make the textures work, but I tell my students all the time, as a drummer, you are coloring the music
Yeah.
with the tones that you have. So drummers have cymbals, drummers have short sounds, the snare drum. The long sounds are sometimes like the cajon bass sound or the floor toms, or
Yeah.
the tom toms are a little longer. So you're painting a picture, you're supporting the music, coloring the music, texturizing the music. So that's my challenge always when I'm listening as I'm playing and trying to make the right choices to texturize the music and support what's happening, the soloist, the vocalist, etc.
Yeah, and the bands you're playing with, you have Tony Harnell, Anthony Corder, Trickster, Kiplinger. They're all like similar in a way, but then you also have to change things up a bit. So
True.
how is that to kind of like differentiate each of the gigs, like change your mindset up a little bit from gig to gig, just what you have to do?
That's true. I mean, I do have to do some of that. So how do I do that? I just I make sure I listen a lot.
Yeah.
And then the different artists I work with, they want different things. So some of the artists want to have things more like the record, and then some of the artists want it to be totally different. Like for instance, with Kip's music, he'll have different arrangements of the
Yeah.
songs, which I enjoy, because then it's kind of like our thing. Like we
Yeah.
do our version of those songs. So it's sort of like everybody has a different approach to the acoustic presentation.
Yeah.
So it's finding that niche of what they're looking for. So it's a little bit different everywhere. Anthony Corder's the same way. He'll do like when we do Walking Shoes, the Tora Tora hit, like he'll do it in halftime, and he does Amnesia in halftime. So it's a different feel, and I don't know. It's great. I enjoy all the different ways to do the tunes. I mean, whatever that artist is looking to do, I'm there to try to support
Yeah.
that song, that presentation, and I'm down with all of it.
So in terms of keeping it like fresh in the mind, because obviously
Okay.
you have to like practice this stuff, are
Yeah.
you like going week by week, like, okay, this week I have these gigs coming up, so I have to rehearse for this, or is it just like general, you try to keep everything in there? Because that would be difficult.
Yeah, it's sort of that way, by week, month
Yeah.
by month. Like, what's happening this month? What do I have to prepare for?
Yeah.
And then I'll review the songs and listen a lot again, and make sure I've got the song forms together, and then think about. It's a lot of mental preparation too, just thinking about what cues I have to play. Because every artist has like different things that they'll want for the set. What's happening, and a lot of this stuff isn't necessarily from the record.
Yeah.
So you just work out, what you review. I review the set list too. I'll look at the songs, and then I'll think about different parts of the song, what things I have to do to make that song work.
Yeah.
And hopefully I do it.
I
Last night I did it. It was great.
Woo!
We had a great show at Debonair Music Hall. With
I couldn't get a ticket. It sold out.
It sold
You guys
out.
were too big for me. I
Oh
got
man.
big timed by Trickster.
Oh man.
Steve was making fun of me on Thursday because I couldn't get tickets for Friday. Very nice of him. But in terms of stuff coming up, you have Rockin' Pod in Nashville. You're gonna be a bit, but you got a lot of your friends there.
We're gonna have
Who
a
you're gonna
great
be working
time
with,
at
yeah.
Rockin' Pod Nashville, and it's a podcast convention kind of thing,
Yes.
right? So the Saturday, let me think of the date, March 18th.
Yep.
It's podcasters from around the country coming in and interviewing the artists, and there's kind of a pop culture thing going on at the fairgrounds because it's a bunch of musicians, and then there's like a comic book festival.
That's a cool clash though.
It's kind of neat, you know. And Friday night's kind of a jam session at the East Side Bowl in Nashville, and I'm playing with Paul Taylor from Winger and Tyson Leslie from Vixen.
Hi Tyson.
And Eric Martin, and we're kicking off the show, and then it's kind of like a mixing bowl of artists. So different groups, everybody gets like 2 songs, and everybody's coming up and doing different things. Some people playing covers. My friend Bob Berryhill from the Safaris is going to jam.
Yeah.
And I think I'm playing with Anthony Quarter that night. So
I think.
it's like everybody just kind of putting together things, and that's going to be fun. Then Sunday, there's some things happening with Rockin' Pod, but there's I think there's like a movie day or something. But the afternoon, evening, there's a comedy show with Don Jameson and 2 other comedians, and also Eric Martin. So Eric Martin's doing stand-up for the very first time, and it's going to be a blast. He's going to be really
Good
funny.
luck, Eric. We're all counting on you.
Good luck. It's going to be really fantastic.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty epic, and then we're doing an acoustic set with Mark Holly after that. Mark's been on a bunch of Eric Martin Band records and plays with us a lot on the trios, on the acoustic trios. So that's always a ball. We enjoy that. So we're doing that afterwards. So that's Sunday night.
Okay. And so what do you have in between now and March 18th? Do you have time to like prep yourself for that? Because that's a lot going on. I wouldn't be able to manage all that.
Well, I know like we've got some things coming up with Anthony in late March and early April, and then some more Trickster things. After today, I'm going home today. Yeah. But I teach lessons.
10-hour drive, by the way.
So I do a lot of teaching during the week. Yeah. And then I write music too. So I write for percussion. I've written a bunch of books, and I'm still doing a lot of that. So I'll be doing that in that time frame. So
what other, you already gave us some, but what other advice do you like give to, you don't have to give it all away because you need to do lessons. You can't just give everything here. If you want to, I don't mind. But what kind of advice do you normally just like generally give students when they come to you for stuff?
Oh, wow. General advice. Well, a lot of times it depends on what they're looking for, but most younger players are looking for drum set technique and everything and ideas and stuff. So we cover technique, and I've been in the business now 30 plus years, more than 30, 35. So I'll give them tips on, different things that happen in your career. Basically, drummers, and I've had friends that this has happened to, like if the technique isn't very good, they can injure themselves. So I've been fortunate not to have any drumming injuries, but I've had friends who've had surgery, back issues, tendonitis, that sort of thing. So we try to work through a lot of that. I always tell my students to be wet spaghetti noodles, because it's gonna break if especially as the years go on. When you're younger, you can get away with things, but as you age, the body gets a little more rigid. So you have to stretch, and you have to keep loose, and of course, practice your rudiments. You gotta have your hands together. And for drum set players, I always get to the point where we work on the hands, and then everything can be happening in the feet. So after you get your hands together, your feet are going to be able to emulate a lot of the stuff that your hands are doing. So, boy, there's a lot of things, and a lot of people come to me for different things. I actually teach piano too, so I'm not a great piano player by any means, but I teach beginner and intermediate piano. So I have some piano students, some online students, some in person. I'm down in Nashville teaching in person at the Nashville Music Academy,
Okay.
and I enjoy teaching. I've been doing that for as long as I've been playing live, so probably like 35 years.
Wow.
I've been teaching.
So were you taught, or are you all self-taught?
Oh yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, I've learned a lot of things
just from experience,
from watching players and going to concerts. I tell students that all the time. You got to go to concerts, like you go to concerts.
My mom always tells me when I'm at shows, she's like, "You don't look like you're having fun." I'm like, "I am. I'm just trying to focus on what's happening."
I mean, I tell students to go there and focus on the drummer, of course, but we'll also watch the other musicians as well. But going to shows is really important. Tell me, I just lost my train of thought. Tell me what you just asked me again.
Were you taught, or are you self-taught?
Yeah. So I'm a product of the school band programs, public school band programs, right? So I was really lucky. As a fourth grader, I auditioned for band, and I picked the drums because I was hitting everything at home. And if it wasn't the drums, it was going to be trombone, and my life would be very different.
I don't think Acoustic Trickster needs a trombone, but they could try. Maybe not.
I got in. The instructor was the drum instructor that chose me for band, and I had him all the way through. His name was Evan Fisher. He was a great percussionist, a great composer. He arranged some things. So I was really fortunate because as a young person, I was involved in orchestra and everything, and then marching band, but also jazz band at the middle school, high school level. And my instructor was an arranger, and we had a steel band. So it had, all the oil drums, with pitch percussion. So I played in all these groups, and something else that happened when I was about 14 and 15, I formed my own rock band as a kid. So I had a band. We played house parties, and then we played school dances.
Oh wow! You made it bigger than I did. I tried the same thing. We had one party. No. You were probably a bit more motivated than we were, though.
It can go either way.
Yeah.
But I got really excited because we played some high school dances, and everybody showed up, like 300 kids at the school, and it was just a riot. And we were playing like Van Halen and Journey, pretty advanced stuff for a bunch of kids to hit those vocals. We had a vocalist that could sing some things. So I was really excited about music coming out, and then I went to college, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I took a year of like general studies. I had no idea what I was going to do, but when I turned about 20, I got really focused on music. And I went to music school and took a couple degrees from music, and played all. That's where I learned a lot about djembe in college.
Bongo.
Yeah, whatever. So. So I enjoyed playing in college, and I also played in bands when I was in college, and that's where I met my wife when I was playing in some college.
Hi, Dawn.
She's
over there.
She's over here. Played in a rock group called The Switch, and we played all over southeastern Wisconsin and northern Illinois, and it was covers and some original music, and really kind of launched me. And after that, I was playing all the time. So when I had my own jazz band, I probably played 4 or 5 times a week regularly. We had regular Wednesday nights. We had regular Friday nights where it was every week. Yeah. So I was working in that idiom a lot.
And so now as you're like evolving, I'm assuming you're still learning stuff. What kind of stuff have you learned recently? Like what are some of the most recent, I don't know if they're discoveries, but like things that you've found out?
Well, learning never stops. As a musician, as a person, you never stop learning. Yeah. I've been really focused on just making sure I'm learning the music I'm playing week by week.
That's a good idea. That's a really smart.
That's where I'm studying, a lot of that. If I had more time to practice, I'd spend a lot more time on piano. Yeah. That's a goal, because that's going to help your composition and everything. Yeah. For me, I've learned a lot through the years. So I've been teaching for so long. I've learned a lot by writing music. So as I'm composing, as I'm writing instructional drum and percussion instructional manuals, I'm learning the different things that like trying to come up with curriculum
Yeah.
and trying to come up with ways to show people things. Teaching will help you learn.
Yeah.
When you're trying to show somebody something. Like we were just talking earlier this morning, we had breakfast, and we have a mutual friend named Cooper.
Yes.
Hughes.
Hi, Cooper.
Hey, Cooper. And he's studying with me online. And, like when we work together, the teacher and the student relationship is a strong one. And
Yeah.
not only is the student learning, but the teacher's learning in a way to be able to express ways to get information to the person. Everybody's
Yeah.
different. Every student is different, and different ways they learn. Some people can learn more by ear, which is what the self-taught thing is.
Yeah.
You're really not. You're teaching yourself things from watching someone. That's what's happening.
That was me. That is me. I need to actually learn how to do it correctly at some point, but it
Man,
works.
you got plenty of time.
I think so.
And yeah, so the teacher relationship, you're constantly learning because
Yeah.
everyone's different, and so you have to come up with different ways to show somebody something. But man, I enjoy, if I weren't performing, I would still enjoy all the music teaching I'm doing
Yeah.
at a really high level. So those
Yeah.
two things, the writing, the teaching, the performing, they're all in the same world for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if students understand that, but that's how I feel about them. When I'm with them, private students, it's as important to me as playing music.
Yeah. And so now, what other stuff do you have coming up after Rockin'? If you can think that far ahead, what other stuff do you have after Rockin' Pod?
Yeah, I'm thinking ahead right now. I know that last weekend in March and April 1st, I'm with Anthony Corder.
Yep.
In April, I'll be back with Trickster. I believe, I can't think of the names of where we are, but we're in Ohio a lot. So we're going to be playing in Ohio with Acoustic Trickster. And I'll be playing with Kip Winger, too, on a trip in Ohio.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah. But Acoustic Trickster is going to work a lot this year. And Anthony Corder is going to be busy this year, for sure. So those are things that I'll be doing a lot. And I'm playing a lot in Nashville, too. So I play with a local singer-songwriter named Doug Allen.
Okay.
And Doug plays country music, or Americana, I guess you'd say. And we'll be working together a lot this year, too, down there.
That's cool. So are you like writing with him, too, or is it?
No, he writes. Doug writes his own stuff, and then a lot of times we play in a sort of acoustic trio. So I'm sort of using this stuff, too. And he has a lap steel guitar player, Mark Huda. He's a great lap steel guitar player.
Yeah.
And he plays a lot with the Nelsons, actually.
I don't know the Nelsons.
They
but
play.
Nelsons.
But anyway, that trio is a lot of fun to play in.
Yeah.
And Doug has a lot of original music, and he does some cover stuff too. But I enjoy playing with Doug Allen. I met Doug through Kip Winger because Doug had opened for Kip on a gig, and we got to know each other.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that is all I have for you. If there's anything else we haven't talked about, like through 2025, if you want to go that far, feel free. But
Oh man, I can't think that far ahead.
neither can I. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. So. Thank you very much, Ben.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Appreciate it.